And so now you've got your own family. You got a husband, you got a little one coming up, and part of the pursuit of happiness, I think, is that if you want to have a family, go have one. Yeah. And then it becomes so much more intense, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too, about what are they going to walk into when they walk out of my house someday? What's this country going to look like? What example have I set for them? Was Daddy one that would sit on the sidelines and go, well, I know the truth, but I'm just not going to say it? My goodness, if you don't set an example for them, how are they don't have a shot. They need something to lean back on like you did with your grandparents. So pursuing happiness for you, now that you're a mom, tell me how that feels. And you're in Nashville, so you're in a great place to raise kids.
It's the best place to raise kids. I mean, this all kind of just happened right on time. But it was interesting because I remember having a conversation about becoming a mother with a friend of mine. She's a podcaster, Ali Stuckey. And she said when she was pregnant, she's like, something about having a kid, it softened you. You know, she was like, I genuinely wish everyone had kids because it softens them in the right ways. And so I went into pregnancy being like, when I have this kid, it's going to soften me. Had my son, he's 4 months now. Let me tell you, it made me even harder because I suddenly realized that these discussions that we're having, you know, these are way more serious. This is way heavier. It's hardened me in the way that these conversations that we're having just feel heavier, more important. And so I'm just so in the moment with this and realizing that what we land on, what we decide, I'm deciding upon not just my political perspectives, but my child's future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you, if you had any fear at all, you don't have it now.
Yeah, and I had no fear at all.
Yeah,
so
right.
Now I'm negative.
Like
I'm negative fear now.
You're in the negative fear zone. You know, coming at it like you've come at it, I've often wondered, you know, have you lost really good friendships or even family members?
Absolutely.
Because you are, listen, I mean, there's people, you bring up your name to people and some people go, I love her so much, and other people go, and we're all friends. Friends of mine, other parents, other people that, you know, that are great people, but they'll hear you and go, oh, don't. And the other one's like, oh my God, I would do anything to meet Candace Owens. It's so polarizing out there. How has that impacted your friendships and family?
I'm an incredibly polarizing figure. It's interesting. It's like one or the other. Either they want me dead or like, you know, they want to erect me into a statue. There's no in between. There's someone that's like, oh, I don't know. Especially early on, there was something about Trump, talk about a polarizing figure, that people were willing to not talk to their husband, wives, brother, cousin, sister. He was just like, you are with him or we can never speak again. And so, yeah, I lost a cousin, and I think I lost 2 cousins, and I say that's a big deal in my family. Like my cousins are like brothers and sisters, and they just could not believe that, you know, I was supporting Trump and I was doing it outwardly, and it sucked. There's really no other way to say it. I hate to use that word, but it was a really hard emotional time to go through because it was like losing a brother and a sister. Yeah. For me, because I'm just so close to my cousins. I grew up with them, but I knew that, you know what?
But you didn't feel like disowning them.
No, I didn't.
Because they disagreed with you.
But I also had to be empathetic towards them. Right. Because I used to have their perspectives.
That's very true.
Right? I can't say I'm awake now, everybody else needs to be awake.
Right,
you know,
right.
Maybe it's gonna take a little longer. Maybe it's gonna take a different situation. So I had to say, this is not their time to realize what's happening. It's my time, and I have to fight for what I believe in. I am now a patriot. I have to fight for this, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice of a few relationships in my life to do what I think is important for the world, for this country, for this moment.